Kia ora, good evening. The 2013 SBS tour of Southland is underway with the prologue yesterday and the first of 7 tour stages decided today. The Tour of Southland is considered New Zealand's premier road cycling event, drawing top talent from not only New Zealand but also Australia, the UK and even Switzerland. There are 15 teams of 6 riders competing against themselves and the often harsh conditions the Tour has become renowned for over the event's 57-year history. Today's stage finished in Gore, with Stage 2 tomorrow concluding at the top of Bluff Hill. The Tour finishes Saturday on Gala Street following Stage 7. A new hotline has been launched to help the public report concerns about psychoactive substances in their community. The Psychoactive Substances hotline number is 0800 789 652 and Associate Health Minister Honourable Todd McClay says community reporting has already led to shop closures and prosecutions for retailers breaking laws around legal high sales. Despite the legalisation of 28 forms of synthetic drugs in recent months, Invercargill police continue to deal with their effects.
Yeah, they're still causing us a problem. Unfortunately, the bad effects that they do have on young people and anyone that is a user is quite significant. But having said that, we have to deal with the legislation that we've got. And I guess it has been good from one point of view that the legislation has tightened up who can sell it. And obviously now there's tighter restrictions around that. But we're certainly working with the Ministry of Health and continuing running our operations. And anyone that is detected to be offending, we certainly will be taking hard action on them.
Police are continuing to target retailers breaking laws with operations to protect the sale to minors and reports seeing a marked difference in behaviours between alcohol and synthetic highs.
There seems to be a difference, and this is what we hear from people that are users, is that it's very addictive, and it's addictive quite early, and also that the side effects that they're having are quite significant. So you might have someone that is relatively calm in a situation, and if they've been a regular user, they can actually turn quite violent quite quickly. And it's quite significant violence as well from what we've been able to determine. And our staff see that as well when we're actually dealing with these people that are affected at the time.
The effects police are seeing are in line with experiences from nursing staff at Southland Hospital's emergency department.
Often they're verbally aggressive, they're violent physically, they're sort of out of control. So probably there are the similarities between the alcohol and the synthetic cannabinoids. Probably the synthetic cannabinoids can be more scary in the fact that they are not really aware of what they're doing. So we often have to have security to help restrain and things like that. But we have noticed a downcrease since there have been some law changes with the government in those presentations.
Despite concerns for the health system following the legalisation of low-risk legal highs, emergency department presentations have dropped since the Act was introduced in July, but the effects of legal highs continue to concern nursing staff.
There's not a lot of places for them to go for sort of that acute coming off the synthetic cannabinoids, or if people have tried it for the first time and the side effects, which aren't that pleasant. They sort of come somewhere because they're scared, so they present to ED, so we'll just sort of help with that.
What sort of side effects might they be experiencing?
A lot of people seem to have tummy pain and a headache. They'll often describe it as sort of a pain in the head, a lot of nausea and vomiting, and just sort of feeling out of it with it.
Interestingly, legalising these mainly smokable products runs contrary to New Zealand's plan to be smoke-free by 2025.
I think we do need to think carefully about some kind of consistency there. At the moment, these substances are not available to be purchased by those under the age of 18. But so it is consistent with the Smoke Free Environments Act in that regard, but otherwise there's not a strong, consistent message. I think it's a real issue.
Currently, less than 170 interim licences have been granted nationwide, with dairies, convenience and grocery stores, service stations and liquor outlets specifically banned from selling legal highs. Margot Sutherland, South Today News. There were no firework-related call-outs to be answered by the Invercargill Fire Service over the weekend. Station Officer Nick Barclay says the lifting of the age limit for fireworks sales from 14 to 18 and lowering the number of days retailers can sell fireworks in 2007 has clearly made a difference to the number of reported incidents.
When I first started, you could pretty much guarantee you'd get a house fire or a large hedge fire or something like that every time there was Guy Fawkes on. yeah, that was the way it went for a number of years.
Why was that?
I think mainly just carelessness and the use of skyrockets, which obviously has been outlawed now, so it's definitely reduced the number of calls we go to, or major calls we go to for Guy Fawkes.
There's that 2 weeks, of course, around Guy Fawkes, those Saturdays. Have there been any incidents so far, and are you expecting anything? There's no public events down here, is there?
No, not that I know of. But no, we haven't really had anything. You never know. Hopefully not. But we've finally had some decent weather. So yeah, there's definitely going to be a few fireworks going off around the place probably in the next couple of weekends.
The fire service is saying that that increasing of the age in 2007 from 14 to 18, that's significant. That's made a difference to purchase fireworks.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the number of fireworks we purchased. So hopefully the people that are buying them are a bit more responsible and yeah, going towards reducing those numbers of major fires.
What are the rules around the city? You know, I sort of grew up with a burning of a guy on a bonfire. Can that be done in the city?
You can have a fire in your yard as long as it's an approved drum. Any 3 metres from any fence, and you need to have a hose or some sort of extinguishing agent nearby, just in case.
Stay with us after the break. South Alive consults on South City car parking. Welcome back. In their 25th anniversary year, Southport has announced a record after-tax profit of $3.5 million. The profit was achieved despite a 7% reduction in cargo volumes to just over 2.5 million tonnes due to less activity at Tiwai Aluminium Smelter, which accounted for up to more than half the drop, slowed exports of wood chips and reduced imported stock food. Dairy, forestry and energy, along with cautious optimism that Shell-led exploration in the Great South Basin will go ahead, are seen as likely drivers of future expansion. Economies of scale through the purchase of a cool stores business and a building of a dry warehouse, along with consolidating gains and reviewing operating costs, has enabled Southport shareholders to a 10% higher full-year dividend of 22 cents per share. South Alive Chair Colin Anderson says the consultation process is ongoing and the organisation intends to gather as many views as possible before committing to a Martin Street pocket park. Mr Anderson says that retailers' concerns over the potential loss of Martin Street parking spaces are being given serious consideration.
Well, at the moment it's still in the consultation phase, and we're appreciating the input from the various retailers and the public. And it's really important that we can gather as many views as possible. We want to be objective about the whole exercise and ensure that what is happening in the area meets agreement from as many people as possible.
Last week we spoke to Trevor Thayer's city valuer, and I mean the same problem's happening in the city, isn't it? Everyone wants to park right outside their business, or every consumer wants to park right outside the business.
That's exactly right, and in Southland it's not a bad thing at times when the weather's crook. But the reality is, in the area around here we've counted, not counting the supermarket car parks, over 180 car parks that are available. And they're quite long term. Very few of them are restricted, so people can park for reasonable amounts of time and wander around in the area. And perhaps one of the things that we're keen to see is that it becomes an area where people want to take a little bit of time to wander around and don't have to just park outside, dash into the shop, dash out again, that there's a place there that they can relax in and feel comfortable.
So the pocket park concept's still a go at this stage? You're just saying you're at the early consultation stage?
That's exactly right. The ideas have been out there for over a year now, and it's really important that people stop and have a look at them. It's all on display in the South Alive office. The concept is still there. Obviously there's opportunity for adjusting things, for listening to people, talking through the issues and making sure that we get it right.
Nothing's set in stone at this stage?
Not at all. The council have asked South Alive to do a report with a possible recommendation, and that's where we're looking at it.
Around 70 competitors raced the clock from Riverton to Invercargill on Saturday in a multi-sport event. Competitors started in the Riviera of the South, leaving Riverton on mountain bike to ride 23 kilometres along Sandy Beach and Gravel Road before tackling the 6-kilometre flat water kayak paddle down the Arete River from Ferry Road Bridge. The final leg of the triathlon included a flat road run of 7 kilometres from Duns Road Bridge, ending at Zookeepers Cafe on Invercargill's Tay Street. Organised by the Southland Triathlon and Multi-Sport Club, the men's winning time was 49 minutes and 56 seconds and the best women's time was 1 hour and 53 seconds. Invercargill's first church rang with cultural harmony on Sunday as dozens of performers from Christian ethnic churches sang in their native tongues. Rainbow Praise was enjoyed by all those who attended yesterday afternoon, with Kiribati, Filipino, Kenyan, Fijian, Zimbabwe and Cook Island nationals performing. Organised by the Southland Multicultural Council and now in its 4th year, the annual event's an opportunity for Christians from various ethnic communities to share with others the worship songs they love in their own language. Performers were backed by drums, guitars and the organ, all sang unaccompanied. The traditional Hindu festival Diwali was underway on Saturday in the south, with hundreds of Indian nationals attending a celebration in Invercargill. Hanson Hall was transformed on Saturday night into an Indian wonderland of light, entertainment and cuisine as people gathered to celebrate the Indian Festival of Lights. Diwali is an official holiday for several countries and is India's most important festival, which is normally celebrated by families performing traditional activities together in the home. Saturday's event was Invercargill's second public Diwali celebration, with live entertainment from the colourful and energetic Abacus Bangra group and plenty of traditional food. And that's all from us this Monday. Next on Sport, a preview of tomorrow's Melbourne Cup race from the news team. Good night.